What does the Bible say? Matthew 27, verse 19 says, "And while he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent a message to him, saying, 'Have nothing to do with that righteous man, for I have suffered much as a result of a dream today because of him.'" He is referring to the governor, Pilate. He is the focal point, and the narrative centers upon him. While sitting, it appears to the audience that Pilate sits in the place of authority, and he does so to a limited degree. We know because of Matthew chapter 25, verse 31 through 46, that one day at Jesus' return, he, Jesus Christ, the Son of Man, in his glory, will come with all the angels and sit upon his glorious throne to deliver righteous judgments to every soul that has ever been conceived. And while he was sitting on the judgment seat had a platform that required steps to ascend. Pilate would be positioned above the crowd, sitting on his throne outside, holding court, ready to address the people. Pilate's wife, whose name is Claudia Procula, was a granddaughter of Emperor Augustus. Augustus was a significant Roman ruler, and Pilate gained his political position by marrying Claudia. Now, Claudia's mother, Julia, she was notorious for her immorality, and Claudia was said to be similar in character. And while he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent a message to him. Claudia interrupts Pilate's legal proceedings by sending a message to him. Interrupting a governor while he was judging was considered a serious matter, but she felt the message was urgent enough to go against Roman customs. Pilate's wife said in her message, "Have nothing to do with that righteous man," as if she is saying, "Stay far away from this crowd that wants Jesus dead." Claudia, an immoral woman herself, somehow recognizes through a dream the uprightness of Jesus. Jesus is the very example of what it means to be righteous. The term righteous in this context has a double meaning. First, Jesus is righteous in that he is innocent, right standing before the Roman courts and the Jews and their law. Second, and most importantly, Jesus is righteous before his Father in heaven. At Jesus' baptism, the Father declared, "This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased." Jesus was without sin, both originally at conception and actual throughout his life on earth. Jesus was blameless both inwardly and in outward actions. Matthew, the author, highlights Jesus as the righteous sufferer, to emphasize that Pilate is about to judge a truly innocent man. The conjunction "for" gives us the reason Claudia warned Pilate to stay away from Jesus. It is due to a dream she had about Jesus. And while he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent a message to him saying, "Have nothing to do with that righteous man, for I have suffered much." Pilate's wife suffered because of a dream she had. To suffer is to experience deep emotional anguish and agony, not from physical harm, but from an internal realization that something evil is coming. For I have suffered much as a result of a dream today. A dream is a method through which information is communicated to a person. In this case, God likely gave Pilate's wife insight into Jesus' innocence, so she could be a clear witness to Pilate that he is about to sentence a righteous man. Roman rulers placed significant stock in dreams and saw them as omens, that is, warnings and predictions. It's worth noting that the state of receiving such a revelation through a dream, as we witness in Scripture, was not one where the recipient's consciousness was totally suppressed. A dream in this context can be seen as a process of self-aware spiritual visualization. That is, an alienation of the mind from the bodily senses, such as a person's sight, sound, and touch, but not an alienation from the mind, such as a person's ability to think, to reason, and to reflect. However, we know from Scripture that dreams could be very deceptive. The Bible reveals how many false prophets declared vain dreams as their authority. Despite this potential deception, God repeatedly uses dreams to make known His will. Today, believers are advised to turn to Scripture alone for trustworthy guidance. If, however, we receive a dream that impacts us, let that dream energize us to pursue God by reading His Word, the Bible, and learn what He has already revealed to us. The Bible is the sure way to get revelation and guidance for our lives, and it would be wise to follow such guidance rather than any dream. And while he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent a message to him, saying, "Have nothing to do with that righteous man, for I have suffered much as a result of a dream today because of him." The reason Claudia suffered was because of him, Jesus Christ. My question is, why did Pilate's wife suffer from the dream? All I can say confidently is she knew that an innocent man, a righteous man, was being condemned to death. Guilt had to have plagued her conscience because of the glory she saw in Jesus in a dream. Ponder why Jesus was being tried before Pilate, and think about what Jesus' righteousness means for those who love and trust him. And consider the day Jesus will come to judge all humanity according to their deeds. Think about what that day will be like for you. Well, what will these false leaders do next? And how will the people respond? Let's keep reading the Bible and find out.